G'day and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I want to show you how you can improve your grip strength in less than 30 seconds. Now, this video is for anyone who is obviously looking to improve their grip strength, whether you're someone who rock climbs for a living, whether you're a tradesman and you bricklay, or you're a tiler, and you need that good grip strength to have an optimal performance at work or in your chosen athletic field. But it's also just for anyone who feels like their grip strength is a little bit weaker than it could be, and they want to see some improvements in that area. I read a piece of research a couple of years ago that stated of the four main indicators of mortality as we age, grip strength is one of those four, which often surprises a lot of people. So it's well worth your time trying to improve your grip strength based on this very, very simple technique. And again, I want to show you how to do that in less than 30 seconds. So obviously I need to explain why or how we can do this in less than 30 seconds so that it doesn't sound like a ridiculous thing to say. And it sounds silly for maybe two reasons, or the way that we can do this, we can center it around two main reasons. Now, the first one basically sort of flips a general concept of strength training on its head. And what I mean by that is, traditionally in resistance training and grip strength improvement, for example, we tend to look at people as being normal, and then we use progressive overload, resistance exercises, strength training exercises to fatigue you. And over days, weeks and months, with good nutrition, good recovery, we see general increases over time in terms of your strength, and particularly grip strength. Now, the way that I want to approach this video is actually I want to flip that on its head a little bit and discuss something that I find clinically a lot. And that's that most people aren't at their natural strength level before they begin resistance training or strength training. Most people are actually below where they could be naturally for one or two main reasons. Now, what I want to basically show you in this video is how to reclaim that normal strength so that you can then have a normal platform to build upon with your grip strength. And the good thing about this exercise that we'll get to, and this technique that I'll get to, is that you deserve to see an immediate change straight away. So the title of this video isn't clickbait, even though it probably seems that way, so hopefully it's a good title to have. But the more important thing about this is we want to take away some of those hidden handbrakes that are preventing you from functioning at your normal level to begin with, and then you should see an immediate spike in input straight away. Now, the reason for that is very, very interesting. So clinically what I find a lot is that reduced grip strength below what most people tend to have normally is actually a consequence of some subtle lower neck dysfunction that a lot of people don't realize that they have. And what basically happens here is the levels of the neck, so the nerves that come out from your neck and the top of your upper back, are the nerves that supply and control the muscles of your wrist, hand and forearm, the muscles involved and responsible for grip strength. So what we tend to see is if you have some subtle dysfunction, we're talking neck joint stiffness, deeper neck muscle tightness, those sorts of dysfunctions can create a little bit of a mechanical or a neural handbrake that down regulates the function of the areas that they associate in the limbs. And again, the base of the neck, the top of the upper back, associates very strongly with the muscles responsible for grip strength. So what we tend to see is if you accrue some of this subtle dysfunction, and we're not talking about disc bulges or stenosis or wear and tear or anything like that, we're just talking about general dysfunction, which is why this is such an exciting idea to promote. And what we tend to see is that dysfunction itself may not be tender, it may not be overtly sore, you may not realize that it's there, which is why we have this. We want to take a ball, a tennis ball, lacrosse ball, baseball, a cricket ball, depending on where in the world that you are. We want to take that ball and explore some of the deeper reaches of your neck and your upper back, release some of those stiffnesses and tightnesses, and then reclaim some of that natural grip strength that you might be missing. So again, before we get to that exercise, basically let me know in the comments below, what do you need your grip strength for? What is it you're hoping to get out of this video? Are you hoping just to have better grip strength for some general purposes? Are you someone in an industry that needs it, or do you do an activity that you just want to be better at that activity? And grip strength is great because it does improve a lot of different activities. Even if you're in the gym, if you just love going to the gym, the stronger your grip strength is, the stronger connection you have to the weights, so you can push those around when you need to. Obviously, games like cricket, baseball, golf even, the stronger your grip strength tends to be, the better it tends to be, or the better you tend to perform. So, and then obviously, if you do go in to enjoy this, and you find this really useful, let me know with the like rating on the video, and consider subscribing if you do find this content useful, because I want to make sure that these videos get out to as many people as possible, and obviously I need your help to do that. So getting into the exercise basically. Before we do the exercise specifically, we need to make sure that you can see change from the exercise. So what I always recommend for my patients, just so that this doesn't sound like I'm full of crap when I'm talking about this, is if you can grab a towel or if you have a handheld grip strength device, that's even better. And you want to squeeze that as hard as you feel comfortable on both sides. Now make sure that if you have a towel, for example, that you try and grab a hold of the same amount of towel on both sides, because we're going to do the exact same assessment again after the exercise so that you can see whether this has made a difference or not. So grab a towel, squeeze it as hard as you can, take note of how it felt, how your endurance felt, how your strength felt, compare it to the other side, and then we're going to start to do the exercise. So the exercise itself is really, really simple. There's nothing too fancy about it. All we want to get you to do is essentially take the ball. We're going to place the ball at the base of your neck, right in the middle. And a great place to start is the bump right at the base of your neck. That's the C7 level, the one that stands out the most. We can use this as our reference point. So you want to put the ball right in the middle of your neck and let the ball roll off to the side a little bit onto the column of muscle. Because underneath that, there are joints that we're really, really interested in. So this exercise will definitely free up some of the musculature of the neck, but more importantly, we want to free up the deeper joint stiffness because that's often the closest connection to the neural issues that might be creating some of that decreased grip strength. So what we want to get you to do with this is, again, have the ball at the base of the neck and let it roll off to one side a little bit. And all we want to get you to do here is we're not trying to get you to roll around on the ball. That doesn't work for what we're trying to do in terms of decreasing specific segments of the spine. So we want to get you to start in the middle, roll off to one side. You might need to turn your head and your body a little bit to that side just to get the best angle here. And all we want to get you to do is just gently move the ball up and down until you can find a spot that feels a little bit stiff or tight. It may be a little bit tender, but the really interesting thing about this exercise is we're not looking for pain. We're looking for restrictions. So if you know that when you tested your grip strength that your left hand feels a little bit different or a little bit less, irrespective of whether you're right or left-handed, and you find that that stiffness is on a specific segment on one particular side, that's where we need you to spend some time letting the ball gently press in. So you want to spend some time on this area. It could be 30 seconds, it could be a minute. You want to stay here until it frees up a little bit, and then we're going to move the ball down a little bit lower, looking for the next area that feels restricted to you. Now, if you're not sure what it feels like or what you're looking for in terms of that restriction, then just compare it to the same spot on the other side. So roll straight over to the other side, and what you'll hopefully find is that one side doesn't feel like it sinks in as easy. One side will feel a little bit softer, one side will feel subtly a little bit harder. So irrespective of which side feels tender or which side you feel a little bit weaker on, you want to go for the spot that doesn't feel like it sinks in as easy. So for me, this side's a little bit more tender, it feels a little bit softer. I come back to the same spot on this side just doesn't feel like it sinks in as well. So I need to be on this spot if I want to try and release that segment as much as possible. So that what I want to do is, after working up and down those levels, looking for the spots that feel the most restricted, you can go basically from sort of mid-shoulder blade level all the way up to sort of mid-neck level. All of those sections can have an influence over the function and the strength of your grip strength musculature. So work your way through that, and then as soon as you spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes doing that, then immediately retest your grip strength. And what you should hopefully find, and what I find clinically, particularly when we have those handheld dynamometers like a JMR device, automatically you can see a genuine spike in grip strength. Now what that tells me obviously is that there's a handbrake there that you didn't realise was pulling away and drawing away some of your natural function, and you can take a ball and in less than 30 seconds literally, you can unglue those relevant segments. And then when you're working up and down through these levels, you should find that there's 1 or 2 levels that are the most specifically restricted that potentially have the most profound impact over your grip strength. Then they're obviously the most important levels to focus on the most. So again, to stay true to the title of this video, when you're trying to improve your grip strength in less than 30 seconds, spend that 30 seconds or less than 30 seconds on that exact spot to get the most bang for your buck. Obviously you can spend more time doing that, you're not restricted to 30 seconds, but the more you can do, the more you can find, the more you can remove, the more function you should see return, and the closer you should get back to that natural baseline of grip strength that you deserve to have. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about in this video, we do this in most videos because it's a really important conversation to have, is that once you've located which specific segment of your neck and upper back is the main handbrake to your grip strength, we have to have a conversation about why that's there. So there has to be a specific reason why one particular level or 2 or 3 specific levels on one specific side is an issue for you and not something higher or lower or on the opposite side, for example. Now, we need to connect the dots here so that if you find grip strength is important for you day to day and you keep losing that grip strength over time despite getting it back and then losing it again, we need to have that broader conversation about why that section of your neck and upper back has become dysfunctional in the first place. And again, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll know that we need to have a really important conversation about your postural habits, because the positions and the shapes that you put your neck into every single day will dictate how that functions every single day. So if you know that right at the base of that neck is a part of the body that's stiff and tight, that tells me that that's a section of your body that you're probably hinging through quite often without realizing it. And the common things that we tend to see clinically is that can be obviously using your phone, we pick on that a lot. You can be reading a book, you can be playing an instrument, you can be using a laptop, you can be sitting, relaxing into your couch, staring at a TV. It can be sitting up in bed doing something. It can be at work, obviously. It can be a broad number of reasons for why you might be getting into that position. But the conversation I want to stir within you today with this video is to try and figure out where that might be. And we want to start with the things that you do most often and then work your way back. So for most people, it isn't a sexy, interesting thing that you might be doing. It's probably not going to be work for a lot of people. It's not going to be leisure for a lot of people. It's going to be the sedentary, stationary, boring times like sitting on the couch, sitting down at a desk. Again, if that's what you do for work, that's fine. Looking down a lot, if that's what you do for work, that's also fine. But you'll know better than me as to where that might be coming from. But the important thing is, if we want to sort of flip this concept on its head and work back to the beginning and say you used to be someone who had some grip strength issues that you didn't realize about, we obviously need to release that hidden restriction in your neck, but also try and figure out why that hidden restriction was there in the first place. So posture counts. The ball's a great way to release that stiffness and tightness, restore some more function of that grip strength so that you get that immediate boost in grip strength. Now, if you're someone who's trying to work hard on your grip strength at the same time, these concepts aren't mutually exclusive. We want to make sure that you're trying to reclaim what you should have already and then gain added strength on top of that with some grip strength exercises, which we can cover in another video. If you want me to go through that, let me know in the comments. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope that was really useful. Let me know if it was, but then we'll see you in the next one.